Welcome to our YouTube channel, World Gadget 02, about World Gadget 02. World Gadget 02 is a YouTube channel dedicated to technology enthusiasts who love exploring the latest gadgets, devices, and innovations in the tech world. From unboxing and reviews to detailed comparisons and performance analyses, we cover everything to help our viewers make informed choices. Our content focuses on unboxing and first impressions. Get a first-hand look at the newest gadgets as we unpack them. Detailed reviews, an in-depth examination of features, performance, and usability. Tech comparisons, but as always, all opinions are 100% my own, right? Let's get this opened up and see what we get inside. So inside the outer sleeve, we have this gray cardboard box with the PlayStation logo on the top and these little PlayStation symbols on one end. And if we take this off, we have the portal itself underneath. But if you flip this top cover over, you'll actually find there is a USB-C charging cable inside, which of course we will need later for charging it. And that really is all we get inside the box. We get the portal, a USB-C charging cable, and the manual.so here it is. And our first impression is this looks and feels really nice. You can see the overall design is very similar to what we've seen before with the other PS5 accessories. But holding it now, this feels premium and a lot more weight than I was expecting. So we've got an 18 screen in the middle, which we will take a look at in a minute. Then we have the controllers on either side, which is definitely one of the biggest selling points of this system. I also like the way that it flows and how the screen is mounted. It's also thin, but not super thin that you'd be worried about breaking it. I think this works really well. As for the buttons, well, the usual ones you'd expect to see on either side, including the D-pad and the share button on the left, and the icons and the menu button on the right. They've also put the PlayStation Home button and the mute button near the top. Then if we flip this around, we have the L and our 12 triggers across the top, which I actually think are very slightly smaller than the normal controller ones. But these do have the same adaptive triggers as the normal controller, and the same goes for the thumbsticks. These are definitely smaller than the normal jawless controller, but not quite as small as the Sense controller for the PSVR 2. In fact, if I compare this now to the normal jawless controller, you see how similar this is. Now there's also an LED strip either side of the screen which lights up in the same way as the normal PSVR 2 does, so that's pretty cool. And you can actually adjust the brightness of this in the settings or turn it off completely. Then across the top there are two speakers, the volume control buttons, the power button, and the link button. This is what's needed to connect it to a compatible headset. And then underneath there's a USB-C port for charging it and a 3.5mm headphone jack for your wired headphones. Honestly though, from a design point of view, I actually really like this. I can't see any reason you need or want it to look any different. It's comfortable to hold, has a nice size screen, and looks like a PlayStation device. Now, when it comes to setting up for the first time, it's pretty straightforward. Your own screen prompt shows you exactly what you need to do. You just power it on, choose your Wi-Fi network, read to the terms, and download the latest software update. It took me around 15 minutes to do this. Then you'll need to log into your PlayStation account, and the easiest way to do this is using the QR code, which will automatically sign you in on the PlayStation app. Once you're in, you need to select your PS5 to register. Now I've got two, so I've selected the PS5 on my desk, and that's it. Within 15 to 20 minutes it's set up, and we're good to go. We don't need to install any apps. We just press the power button, followed by the PlayStation button, and it will connect straight away. We now have full control and access to the PS5, including the dashboard and all of the installed games. And our first impressions is really responsive, like nearly instant other navigator air dash. There is no noticeable lag here at all. Now I'm not sure if you've noticed, but the screen on this is really nice and the text clarity is incredible. So it's an 80s full HD LCD, and this thing is sharp, it's vibrant, and it's pretty bright. I've been using it for the last few days, and I'm genuinely impressed by how good it looks for a 1080p screen. I was actually a little worried before seeing it as I knew it wasn't an OLED, but seriously this is probably one of the best non-OLED screens I've ever used. Also the fact that it's a glossy screen means the colors really pop and there's no contrast on black levels, so the entire purpose of the PlayStation Portal is to allow you to play your PS5 away from your SATA. You will need a PS5, and it needs to be either on or away so as to be connected. So from my testing over the last few days, as long as you have a strong enough Wi-Fi connection, the signal never drops. Sometimes it stutters or the sound pops in and out. But that's something we've always seen when using the PS4o app. Although to be honest, this PSP is a little bit more reliable, as I have been using it to play games like Ratchet and Clank, Gran Turismo 7, Spider-Man 2, and some Astro's Playroom. And every game that I've played has been decent. It's exactly what I wanted to get from the Portal. And it is a massive step up from using something like the Backbone One Adapt. Shop. I modded for him, and I loaded it up with a bunch of his favorites like PS1, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and stuff like that, all those games. But anyway, he lost the charger I gave him. He went and bought this shady one, which I have bought in lots of aftermarket ones, and they've all worked, but this one does not work at all. And PSP is 5 volts. So I figured instead of buying a new one, because why do that? What I'm going to do is I've got this guy here. It is also 5 volts, and the connector was just too big. If it focuses, yeah, it was just too big. So we're gonna cut this one off, that shady one, and we're gonna try to do some splicing. I'm gonna try to splice this bad boy right onto that bad boy. And yeah, see how it goes. Okay, so I don't wear strippers that I can't find to save my life. So we're just gonna use what I have. Basically, we're just gonna strip this guy here real quick. It's gotta be real gentle, you know what I mean? Gotta be real careful. You don't want to snap right through. Wire strippers would be handy though. And this tool, I think it's like lost all of its sharpness. Ooh, there we go. Now you're in here, and you got these 2 wires, you see. You know, you got your positive and negative, I believe. Luckily with this one, you only need to strip 2 cables, where the other one you gotta strip 3 because you gotta strip the initial one, and then you gotta strip the other 2. Sons of biscuits. Alright, so those are twisted. Now we twist them onto this. Okay, got it connected, plugged in, here we go. Power, yes. I know this is like, to you techies out there, it's like, wow, big deal, you did some splicing. And I know I've never actually spliced a power cord before. I've done, audio cables and stuff, but this is actually really cool. So like, if you have like a PSP for instance, and you have a plug that fits, right? And let's say that plug is like a 9 volt and it fits in there, but the PSP only uses a 5 volt. And you have another AC adapter, like this, that is viable. This is how you can splice them together, and what is it? The Rift. I look inside, and something was there looking back at me. Whispered to me, hey, the universe is real. I'm sorry. You're here.
Why?
It is us. What's on about it?
Warp.
Get down here. Don't do that. Take the hammer and kill.
Hey.
What's the big deal?